It's time for Killian Cougar Baseball, and today we're coming to you from Ray Boy Field in beautiful South Dade County for some fall baseball between your Killian Cougars and the home team, the South Dade Buccaneers. This should be a good one today. Happy Monday, everyone. It's October 14th, and it's a nice, sunny, warm fall day. We finally get some baseball in. We dodged Hurricane. We didn't get much damage, not as much as our friends up north did. So we're going to wish them the best and a speedy recovery and Godspeed to you all. Here we're bringing you fall baseball, Killian Cougar style, on the Florida Sports Programming Network. I'm Uncle Muggs bringing you the play-by-play. And alongside me is the one and only John Yambles. John, welcome to the FSPN booth for the first time, buddy.
How's it going, Muggs? Thanks for having me, man.
All right, all good. We can't wait for some fall baseball. You know, we had a week of bad weather, and now we finally got the Killian Cougars going up against the 2014 Florida State champions, the Buccaneers. I was lucky enough, John, to witness that 2014, that magical season, and we're going to pay tribute to the South Dade Buccaneers with a little video that I did. Check this thing out. All right, John, some really good memories there of 2014 where the South Dade Buccaneers took the Florida Baseball 6A championship, and it was a very memorable. There was some professional kids that came out of there that are now playing for the major leagues. One of them is Alec Manoah, and he's a starter for the Toronto Blue Jays. His brother Eric led that team in almost every offensive category and pitching and got them into the championship game after beating Cavalry up in Broward. And they went on to win it at Fort Myers JetBlue Park. And today we're bringing you Killian Cougar baseball from the road. We're at South Dade. We're at Ray Boy Field. And we're going to give you the Killian Cougars lineup. Leading off and playing shortstop, it's Aiden. Batting second and playing second base, it's Eddie. Phoenix is batting third and playing right field. Kenry Blanco is playing center field, and he'll be the extra hitter today. Chase Martinez is batting fifth and playing third base. Zorro's batting sixth and playing center field. Ethan Jones is batting seventh and playing left field. Tonio Vasquez is on the mound. Ryan Yambles is batting ninth and playing third base. And Jean Michael Cueto is doing the catching today. The defense for the Bucs, the South Dade Buccaneers, we're going to have Zach Tyre on the mound today. Zach is a big boy. Behind the plate for the Bucs, Gio Vera. Playing first base for the Bucs, Anthony LaGuardia. Second base is Luis Hernandez. Sebastian De Valle is playing shortstop. Joseph Medina is playing third. And the outfield is Fabian Orama, Kevin Capucetti, and Niran Perez is rounding out the outfield for the Buccaneers. Okay, leading off, the right-handed batter, the shortstop for the Cougars. It's Aiden. He had a start at shortstop a couple games ago. Feels like almost a month ago with all the rain and the rainouts that we've had. And Zach Tyre goes to work for the Bucs. He kicks and deals, and that fastball is taken low and away for ball one. Aiden coming from the full windup for the Bucs. Sorry. And that ball swung on and missed by Aiden. Zach Tyre is from the full windup for the Bucs. The count is even at 1. Tyre gets his sign. He kicks, and that fastball's way high. Good catch by Giovera back there. Brings the count to 2-1. The shortstop, Aiden, looking to have a good fall so he can make his way on that spring lineup. And that's probably the goal of all these fall players, is to make the spring lineup. And that ball's hit high in the infield. The catcher's calling it. Giovera throws his mask, and he makes the grab for the first out right here in the first inning. That's going to bring up the second baseman for your Killian Cougars. Batting from the right side, it's Eddie Naranjo. Turned out to be a really nice afternoon. There was some clouds covering the field earlier. We thought it might rain, but those magically went away. Tyre pumps one in there for a strike to start off this at bat for Eddie. Killian Cougars are wearing the traditional dark green shirt with a Roman numeral C on the chest and the gray pants. Tyre's fastball is taken for strike 2. The Bucs are wearing the traditional blue shirt with the gray pants with the blue pinstripe to match the fencing and everything else that's blue here at Ray Boy Field. And that fastball's taken outside. 2 balls and a strike to Eddie, the second baseman for the Cougars. Tyre hides his face behind the glove, and he gets a sign from Vera, and it's swung on and grounded over the first baseman. It's going to go into right field. Vasquez looking for 2, but he stays there. I mean, Naranjo leads it off with a base hit. One out with a man on first base, a runner on first. And this is going to bring up the right fielder, Phoenix Medina. Zach Tyre, the pitcher for the Bucs, is now coming from the stretch. Takes a peek at Naranjo, and he comes to the plate, and that's fouled straight back for strike 1. To Phoenix Medina. You can find Phoenix in right field sometimes, behind the plate. Coach Leon will put him in the outfield from time to time. Let's see if Coach Leon sends Naranjo here early. Naranjo stays. Medina takes that strike. On deck is Kendry Blanco, the senior. That ball's taken outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Medina. Naranjo's on first. Somewhat of a modest lead. Rocking his arm back and forth as he's going, and he fires back. Tyre almost gets him. But Naranjo beat the tag and is in safely. Zach Tyre, the pitcher for the Bucs. Throws over to first again. Naranjo gets in there safely. It's Phoenix Medina's batting. We have Kendry Blanco, and then it's Chase Martinez. That one's a lot closer than the other two. on the throw over to first. Unlike the major leagues, they can throw over to first as many times as they like, and there's a fourth one by Tyre. Naranjo wasn't that far off the bag, but he sure does have his uniform dirty already here in the first inning. Tyre checks his sign from Gio Vera, looks at first and the fastball, and Vera fires over to first, but Naranjo is back safely. They're really paying a lot of attention to Naranjo at first. One out. Phoenix Medina batting for the Cougars. Big Zach Tyre on the mound for the Bucs. He settles in and fires a fastball that swung on and missed. Actually, it's foul tipped and caught by Gio Vera for the second out. A strikeout swinging for Medina. It's going to bring up the center fielder, Mr. Cougar, Mr. Everything. He's offense in a bottle, Henry Blanco. He's hit safely in every game this fall. He led the team in almost every offensive category last year. Had 4 home runs, 13 stolen bases, 14 RBIs. He hit .327. He did it all last year as a junior. That offering is low and away for a ball. 2 outs here in the top of the first for the Killian Cougars with Naranjo on first base. Zach Tyre on the bump for the Bucs. And Henry Blanco at the plate. That fastball is taken inside and a delayed steal by Naranjo, and he makes it safely. That throw was high from Gio Vera. And now the Cougars have a runner in scoring position. Zach Tyre has good control of that fastball. It's got good velocity on it. We haven't seen that many off-speed pitches or change-ups or anything like that. He's been pumping the fastball in there. And I'll tell you, Eddie Naranjo, I haven't seen anybody get so dirty so early in a game. I mean, we're 5 minutes into this game, and this guy needs to put that uniform in a Tide bath or something. Here's Tyre from the stretch. Takes a peek at Naranjo, and that fastball to Blanco is taken low and away. Tyre taking his time now, a couple deep breaths. Checks the count. It's 2-1 to Blanco. This is what they call a hitter's count. The very little wind that there is coming in straight from center field. I wouldn't even call it wind. It's probably like a light breeze. Tyre takes his sign, and that fastball swung on and lifted foul to the right side. And that'll even the count at 2-2 to Blanco. Coach Chris Leon in his second season here at Killian, putting together a competitive team. Hopefully this spring they'll be on top of the 3A District 16 that they belong to. And they're going to need a lot of help from this guy up to bat now. Naranjo on second, 2 outs, top of the first. Zach Tyre pitches. That ball's lifted high and deep in the left field, and it's curving foul. Boy, Blanco got all of that one. He was just ahead of that fastball. He knows he just missed that one. He's shaking his head a little bit, looking down as he walks back into the batter's box. You know, as a hitter, when you just miss it, you're just way ahead of it. You know you barreled the ball up and you hit it good. The ball went out of the ballpark, but it was foul by a good 50, 60 feet. Counts even at 2. Runner at second for the Cougars. We're at Ray Boy Field in South Dade. Zach Tyre looks at his runner, fires, and that ball's lined in right field. And that's going to be caught by the right fielder on 2 steps, and he's firing home. And here comes Naranjo, and he slides in there safely for the first run. And there's an RBI for Henry Blanco, and that's going to get a run for your Killian Cougars. It's going to bring up Big Chase Martinez. Good piece of hitting there by Kenry Blanco. Didn't try to do too much with that ball. A high fastball. He lined it into right field. Good base running by Naranjo. And that equals a run for the Cougars. Still in the top of the first. Blanco definitely a threat to run, and that fastball's way high. They're going to need a lot of good hitting from the people around Kenry Blanco. And here's a chance, and that ball's scorched, almost in the Bucs dugout. Spanish, that's called the rompegrupo. Ball went over there really quick and spread everybody out. 1-1 to Martinez. Let's see if Coach Leon puts Blanco in motion here. Zach Tyre, the pitcher for the Bucs from the stretch, takes a peek at Blanco with a modest lead. He steps off, and he's going to think about it. Could use a Chase Martinez double right here. Probably score the speedy Blanco, who stays on first. That fastball's taken outside, and that brings the count to 2-1 strike. And we're at Ray Boyd Field, home of the South Dade Bucs, 2014 state baseball champions, led by Coach Fred Burnside. Kenry Blanco on first. He's the senior, and he takes off. That fastball swung on. The throw from Vera is high. Blanco gets in there with a stolen base for the Cougars. I understand why Chase swung at that ball. It could have been a little out of the strike zone, but he was protecting his runner. An RBI and a stolen base already for Kenry Blanco. Chase Martinez with a 2-2 count, and that offering is swung on. It's a high fastball, and that's going to end the inning. And we have one hit, one run for the Cougars, and we'll be right back on the Florida Sports Programming Network. Welcome back to Ray Boyd Field. You're watching Killian Cougar Fall Baseball on the Florida Sports Programming Network. I'm Uncle Muggs bringing you the play-by-play. And after one run in the top of the first inning, the Killian Cougars bring out to the mound Antonio Vasquez. Jean-Michael Cueto will be doing the catching. Chase Martinez will be playing first base. Eddie Naranjo, that got a hit and scored a run, will be playing second. Aiden will be playing shortstop. Ryan Yambles will be playing third base. He's a sophomore. Ethan Jones will be in left field. Antonio Laciza is in center field. And Phoenix Medina rounds up the outfield for your Killian Cougars. Now here's a rare sight. It's not often that you see the catcher lead off, but in this case, Gio Vera, the catcher for the Bucs, is going to lead off, followed by the center fielder, Kevin Capucetti. Then it's Joseph Medina, and if anybody gets on, it's Sebastian De Valle batting fourth for the Bucs. Antonio Vasquez has a brother, Armando, that plays on this team. He's in uniform today. It'll be cool to see two brothers playing on the same field. Vasquez from the full windup, and the first pitch is foul to the right side by Vera. He was a little late on that fastball. Good to see some of the Killian Cougar fans traveling, coming down to South Dade. It's only about a 20-mile trip. You come down to the Redlands, see some of the vegetables, maybe get a shake over at Robert is Here. Check out some of the animals back there. Always fun to come down to Homestead. Here's Vasquez's offering, and that one's lifted in left center field. Blanco's shading over to his right a few steps. He calls for it. Rather, that's Antonio Laciza. Zorro's playing center field. That's one quick out for the Cougars. That's going to bring up the center fielder for the Bucs. It's Kevin Capucetti, and he's coming in from the left side, so it'll be righty pitcher, lefty batter. Jean-Michael Cueto's doing the catching today. He's been seeing a lot more action back there, and that fast fastball's taken high for ball one by Capucetti. But getting back to Jean-Michael Cueto, you can see him over at first base. You can see him behind the plate. He's an excellent hitter, and he was a transfer from Belém. Vasquez gets his sign, and that fastball's turned on and almost hit inside the Killian Cougar dugout by Capucetti, and quickly, it's 2 strikes. Vasquez showing a good fastball, showing good control. He kicks and deals, and there's another fastball and a little number hit past the mound. Coming in on it is Yambres, who fires to first. Oh, and just pulled Medina off the bag. I mean, Martinez was just pulled off the bag. The ball got there in plenty of time. I have to give that one an E5 to the third baseman, Yambres. With 1 out, the Cougars are looking for 2. That brings up Joseph Medina, and he's the third baseman for the Bucs, batting from the right side. Vasquez takes a peek over at Capucetti, and that ball's tipped foul. Comes all the way back to the screen. The Bucs are led by head coach Omar Baldon, and his assistant is Chris Rodriguez, and both of them are in their second year here at a storied program in South Dade Senior High School. Capucetti with a big lead off first base, and he got Vasquez's attention. Vasquez fired over there, but Capucetti was safe. Chase Martinez holding him on at first base. Again, Kevin Capucetti with a big lead at first. He's got that sliding mitt on so he doesn't jam his fingers. And there's an off-speed pitch that looked like maybe a changeup. Joseph Medina was way out ahead of that one. It's 2 quick strikes. 1 out, bottom of the first. Killian Cougars against the South Dade Buccaneers. That was like a 55-foot slider that got by Phoenix. Phoenix is looking for it, and now Capucetti's heading for third. He fires and beats the tag. That was a pass ball. A wild pitch by Vasquez. Capucetti goes all the way to third base because Medina couldn't pick up where the ball was. And that's, Jean-Michael Cueto behind the plate. One ball and 2 strikes to Joseph Medina, the batter for the Bucs. Cueto's behind the plate. He gives a sign to Vasquez, and it's an off-speed pitch, and it's a comebacker. And they got Capucetti hung up in a rundown between third and home, and here comes Yambas. He's chasing him back, and there goes Chase Martinez, and they call him safe. Martinez came all the way to first base to get involved in that rundown, and Capucetti's slide got under his tag. The umpire calls him safe. And Joseph Medina makes it all the way to second base on that fielder's choice. And he's going to get an RBI for that as well. Almost sure thing out at home plate. Capucetti managed to get under the tag of Chase Martinez that came all the way to first base like you're supposed to. And this is going to bring up the shortstop, Sebastian Del Valle, in a tie game here in the bottom of the first inning. With a Buck runner on second, Del Valle takes high for ball 1. That ball got behind Cueto. It looked to be like a 55-foot slider, and he couldn't block it. Went all the way to the fence. The fence is not too far, but he couldn't pick up the ball. And that let Capucetti come all the way around from second base to score on a wild pitch. And there's a ball that's lifted over the shortstop, and that's going to fall in. Here comes Zorro with the throw home. They're going to cut it off. Del Valle is going to go to second on the throw. So Medina is going to be on third base. Del Valle with a base hit. Goes all the way to second. And there's only one out here in the bottom of the first. That's going to bring up Quiñones, the right-handed batter for the Bucs. He's the DH. Kenneth Quiñones with runners on second and third for the Bucs. Aiden is right behind the runner. Now he comes back to his position at shortstop. Vasquez deals, and that's a fastball taken on the outside by Quiñones. Vasquez is going to have to pitch his way out of this jam if he wants to keep his Cougars in this game. Right now it's 1-1. Vasquez from the stretch fires that one. It swung on and missed, and it pops out of the glove of Jean Michael Cueto. Quiñones looking to hit something in the outfield. With only one out here, he can get a sacrifice fly. The base hit will score two. Vasquez comes from the stretch. And that fastball paints the outside corner, and strike two to Quiñones. Quiñones didn't like that call from home plate umpire, but it looked like a strike from here. Now Coach Leon is bringing the Cougars in. The infield is in for the Cougars. In the bottom of the first, they're going to try to cut out the run at home. Vasquez comes, fires. I want to say it was an off-speed pitch, maybe like a splitter. Didn't act like a fastball. Quiñones took it for a ball. I'm told that Antonio Vasquez has several pitches, and he has command over all these pitches. Two-seamer, a four-seamer, a changeup, a slurve, a slider. And there's one that's hit and lifted to the right side. The right fielder, Phoenix Medina's camped out on it. It floats over to his left into foul territory. And here comes a runner. He fakes the tag, and he's not going anywhere. Both of the Bucs runners stay on second and third. And that's probably the best thing that could have happened to the Cougars and Antonio Vasquez. So now with two outs in the bottom of the first inning, it brings up the second baseman for the Buccaneers. It's Luis Hernandez. Luis with a chance to break this tie game open. Hernandez from the right side, Vasquez from the right side. There's a high fastball taken for a ball. The second baseman for the Bucs. He's wearing that blue shin protector on his left foot to avoid any injuries off of foul balls. Vasquez takes a peek at the runner at second. He comes to the waist and kicks and fires ball two that's low and outside. Niran Perez is on deck for the Bucs, the right fielder. And here comes Antonio Vasquez. He throws that one high and away. First base is open, but you don't want to walk the number 6 hitter, 7 hitter this early in the fall. Let's see if he can battle back in this at-bat. Fastball's taken by Hernandez for strike one. The count is 3-1. The Bucs have runners on second and third. They have one run came across the board already. They've got one hit, an error, a pass ball. And that ball's lifted straight up in the air and foul. So full count to the second baseman, Hernandez. Antonio Vasquez has battled here. One more strike and Vasquez can get the Cougars out of this inning with just one run. And there's a ground ball over to Chase. It goes foul right over the first base. They're going to get another chance to do this again. Joseph Medina's on third. Sebastian Del Valle is on second base. And the batter is the second baseman, Luis Hernandez, for these Buccaneers of South Dade. Here comes the pitch from Vasquez, and that one's lined to left center field. EJ goes back. He's got a beat on it, and what a play by EJ, Ethan Jones, to end the inning on a running catch to left field. Wow, that was amazing. Stay tuned. We'll have more Killian Cougar baseball right here on the Florida Sports Programming Network. Welcome back to Ray Boy Field for some Killian Cougar fall baseball on the Florida Sports Programming Network. In the box for the Cougars is the center fielder, Zorro, Antonio Luciza. Ethan Jones is following him. Antonio Vasquez, the pitcher's batting third, and if anybody gets on, it's the third baseman, Ryan Yambas. Quickly, there's one ball and no strikes to the batter from the left side. They call him Zorro. He's wearing number 34. He takes low and away. The pitch from Zach Tyre, the Bucs pitcher. Pitching from the full windup. It's ball three, and that's just what the doctor ordered. A leadoff batter here in the top of the first would be good news for the Cougars. Here comes the pitch from Tyre, and it's taken high for ball four. And that's going to get Zorro on base, and he definitely is a threat to steal. That's going to bring up the left fielder, Ethan Jones. They call him EJ. He ended the first inning with a tremendous catch in the gap to help out the Cougars and get Vasquez out of that first inning, stranding runners on second and third. Zorro with a big lead. He hops off. That ball's taken high. Gio Vera looks at the runner. And now we're going to have a mound meeting. Zorro's on first base. There's no outs. And we're in the top of the first inning at Ray Boy Field, home of the Bucs, the 2014 6A Florida baseball champions. A lot of history on this field, a lot of memories, especially for me. I was here the entire season, followed them all the way to the state championship in JetBlue Park in Fort Myers. Zach Tyre from the stretch. That fastball is taken up high, and Gio throws over to first, and Zorro gets back plenty of time. So Ethan Jones is the batter for the Cougars. He's the left fielder, wearing 00, and that ball's a little flare over the right field. Campusano goes back, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. The runners are only able to advance one base. But that single had eyes, and it found a spot between right field and second base to fall in for a base hit. That's going to bring up the pitcher, number 5, Antonio Vasquez. think I see someone warming up in the Bucs bullpen. That ball is a strike swung on by Vasquez. Zach Tyer's thrown a few pitches here in an inning. And he looks at the runner at second, and that fastball is blocked by Giovera. The count is 1-1 to the pitcher Vasquez. Antonio Lasiza, Zorro's on second base. Ethan Jones with that base hit is on first. And the pitch is taken inside for ball 3. Didn't miss by much, ball 2 rather. 2-1, pitcher on pitcher. Tyer from the right side. Vasquez from the right side. Base hit here will get the Cougars 1, maybe 2 runs. And that ball's lifted to the right side, out of play. For a strike to Aiden to even the count at 1-1. So LaGuardia comes in to pitch. The 3 runners on base belong to Zach Tyer. He was the starter for the Bucs. LaGuardia throws another one high. And that's an easy take for Aiden when the ball's up around your eyes, near your head. 2 balls and 1 strike. Aiden looking to make something happen here for the Cougars. LaGuardia fires, and that fastball is taken for a strike. That umpire's being kind of generous with that outside part of the plate today. The fans are starting to pile in. Always a well-supported program here in South Dade as long as I can remember. LaGuardia throws that one up high. And the count is full to the leadoff batter for the Cougars, Aiden. LaGuardia looking for a strikeout. Aiden looking for a base hit. Let's see what's going to give. Aiden's from the hip. He wheels and he fires a ball inside. The runner was going. That's going to score a run for the Cougars on a walk. A well-deserved walk. He really earned that one. So Zorro's going to score the Killian's second run. EJ is going to move over to third. Yambez is going to move to second. He got on by a base hit. And it's going to bring up the second baseman, Eddie Naranjo. Eddie to face LaGuardia. LaGuardia throws, and that ball's taken high for a ball. The sun is setting behind us. It turned out to be a beautiful afternoon. The light breeze coming in right center field. Anthony LaGuardia pitches, and that ball's in the dirt, blocked by Giovera. Gets away from him, but not far enough to score any of the runners. So EJ stays on third. Ryan Yambaz is on second. And the leadoff batter, Aiden, is on first. And it's 2-1 Cougars. Naranjo looking to put more on the board. That ball's taken. One hopper in the dirt. Another good play by Giovera back there. Eddie Naranjo gets his final instructions from Coach Leon. Bases loaded. And that was another walk, and that's going to score EJ. That's the third Cougar run. He's going to move Aiden over to second, Yambas to third. And Naranjo's on first with a walk. Time's called from the Bucs by the Bucs. And it's going to bring up the right fielder today, Phoenix Medina. He goes over to talk to Coach Leon. And I think they're going to be pretty easy instructions by Coach Leon. He's just going to tell him, listen, hit the ball. Hit the ball and we get a run. A 3-1 ball game. Medina with a chance to break this one open. LaGuardia is the new pitcher. Finally finds the plate, opens up with a strike to Medina, the right fielder. Phoenix from the right side, LaGuardia from the right side. Bases full of Cougars, 2 outs, top of the second. That ball's fouled and taken straight back to the screen. Quickly, 2 strikes. LaGuardia is ahead of Medina here in the second. Kenry Blanco's on deck. Be nice to see him come up with the bases loaded. Medina takes that one over the outside plate, and that one was the furthest one outside that I've seen. He got caught looking, but not before 2 hits, 2 walks, and 2 more runs for your Killian Cougars. And we'll be right back with more Killian Cougar Fall Baseball on the Florida Sports Programming Network. Welcome back to Killian Cougar Fall Baseball. Today we're at Ray Boyd Field in South Dade County, Florida for some fall baseball between the Killian Cougars and the South Dade Buccaneers. 3-1 here in the bottom of the second inning. It's going to bring up Niran Perez, Anthony LaGuardia, John Oliva, and if anybody gets on, it's the last batter, Fabian Orama. On the mound for the third inning here, for the bottom of the second rather, is Antonio Vasquez. Antonio got out of a jam in the first inning, and he starts Perez off with a strike. Yambez is still at third. Aiden at shortstop, Naranjo at second, and Chase Martinez. And there's a comebacker right to Vasquez, who steps and fires over to Martinez for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the pitcher, Anthony LaGuardia, batting from the right side. Vasquez settling in here in the second inning. He gets his sign from Jean-Michael Cueto, and that's an off-speed pitch of some sort, and it's lifted to the right side. Martinez gives it a glance, and it just goes foul on the right-hand side for strike 1 to Anthony LaGuardia. I was told by Antonio Vasquez's father that he throws 5 or 6 different pitches, and he's always experimenting with something new. And there's a fastball that swung on and fouled to the left side. And that's strike 2, a quick 2 strikes to LaGuardia. Antonio Vasquez takes a sign from Jean-Michael, and that ball's an off-speed pitch, swung through it for the first strikeout for Vasquez here in the second inning. 2 quick outs, and that's going to bring up the extra hitter who's now playing first base, Juan Oliva. Oliva's batting from the right side for the Buccaneers of South Dade. Vasquez seems to have his groove here, and he starts off with a swinging strike to Oliva. He's got some movement and some good action on those off-speed pitches. The Cougars could really use a shutdown inning here. The bottom of the second. There's one in the dirt. Looks like he started experimenting with that a little bit. 1-1 to Oliva. But after you score a couple runs, you want to come back and have a shutdown inning and just win every inning, one at a time. Here comes Vasquez. He kicks and deals, and that's taken high. It looked like a fastball to Oliva. The count is 2-1. The outfield is pretty much straight away. EJ in left, Zorro's in center field. Medina's playing deep in right field. There's the pitch and swung on and tapped foul right at the plate. Quickly called by home plate umpire. It's going to even the count at 2-2 to the first baseman, Juan Oliva. Aiden is playing straightaway shortstop. Eddie Naranjo's at his regular position at second. Now he's kind of shade over to his right a little bit. Chase Martinez at first. And that ball's taken outside and the count is full. Yambas is playing third base, just about even with the bag, maybe a shade behind it, 2 or 3 steps behind the bag. Vasquez working from the full windup. He kicks and he throws that one low and it's taken for a ball. And there's a 2-out walk, which you never want to do. And it's going to bring up the last batter for the Buccaneers in the likes of Fabian Orama. Orama's the left fielder. We're going to get a pinch runner to come in for Oliva. That was the first walk issued by Vasquez. Del Valle got a hit off him in the first inning, and now he's from the stretch. Orama's at the plate. A big lead by the pinch runner. That fastball's taken high for ball 1. Martinez holding him on at first. Vasquez from the stretch. Cuetos puts down the sign. Vasquez with a quick peek. He fires and that ball is softly hit to the shortstop who comes in, and it's Aiden. He's got one play, but he bobbles it, and the runners are going to be safe. Slow hit grounder to the shortstop. He tried to glove it. It came up and hit him on the heel. Then he tried to spin and throw to second, but the pinch runner was already there, and that's going to be an E6. And there's 2 on with 2 out in the bottom of the second inning. As Gene Michael comes out and talks to Vasquez, it's going to bring up the leadoff batter, the catcher Gio Vera. And he'll have runners on first and second with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning here at Ray Boy Field in beautiful South Dade County, Florida, for some fall baseball. Vasquez shakes yes to Cueto. He lifts and pitches, and there's a slowly hit flop fly. Coming in is Aiden. Nobody makes a play. It lands right behind the mound, and then it's thrown over the third and almost thrown away. But that ball was barely hit over the mound. Vasquez didn't move. Aiden was playing way back by second base and wasn't able to get there in time. And that's going to be a base hit for Gio Vera, believe it or not, the softest base hit I've ever seen. That's going to bring up the center fielder for the Bucs, Kevin Capusetti. He grounded to third last time, and an errant throw by the third baseman made him go all the way to second, and later on he scored a run on Medina, Joseph Medina's RBI. Medina is on deck. Capusetti steps in on Vasquez and takes an off-speed pitch outside for ball 1. So 2 quick outs, then a walk, then an error, a bloop crazy hit behind the mound, and now bases are loaded. How quickly things can change. Vasquez comes set. He fires that pitch taken for a strike by Capusetti. Kevin taking his time getting back in the box. Vasquez gets his sign from Gene Michael Cueto. Seeing more action this fall behind home plate than we've seen before. Vasquez kicks and he comes, and that ball's lifted into right field and is shading towards the right field. He's going foul. Medina had a beat on it, but that looping liner got down quick. And now we have 2 strikes to Caposetti with a chance to get out of this inning with no damage done. Bases full of Bucs, 2 outs, bottom of the 2nd inning in a 3-1 game here at Ray Boyd Field. Antonio Vasquez on the mound for the Cougars. He kicks and deals, and what a play by Cueto back there to stop the ball. He saved the run. He could have very well saved the run with that play. 2-2 to Caposetti. Vasquez looking for an infield ground ball or maybe a fly ball to the infield. An easy out is what we're looking for. Strikeout would be nice. He kicks and he deals, and that ball's chopped to Yambes, and that ball eats him up at third. It slowly gets by him. 1 run is going to score. And all the runners are going to advance. And that ball was well hit. Even if he caught it cleanly, I don't think he would have had a play at first base. Caposetti gets a pinch runner. Oliva comes in to score the Bucs' 2nd run. And it's a 3-2 ball game in the bottom of the 2nd inning. So 2 quick outs turned into 1 run after a walk and an error. And a hit. And that ball swung on and missed by the left-handed batting that ball's grounded to Martinez over at first, who's going to take it himself. And that's going to be the end of that inning. But 1 run scored makes it a 3-2 ball game. We're heading to the top of the 3rd inning. You're watching Killian Cougar Baseball on the Florida Sports Programming Network. Welcome back to Killian Cougar Fall Baseball on the Florida Sports Programming Network, and we're at Ray Boyd Field in South Dade Senior High School for some fall baseball between the Buccaneers of South Dade Senior High School and your Killian Cougars. Starting the 3rd inning, it's the senior. He's the extra hitter today. It's Kendry Blanco. He got a base hit and RBI, and he stole the base earlier today. Following Blanco, it's going to be Chase Martinez. Then we have Lewis, which is Zorro. And if anybody gets on, it's EJ, Ethan Jones, the left fielder for the Cougars. So Kendry Blanco, he's going to face Anthony LaGuardia, who stays in the game for the Bucs. LaGuardia is coming from the stretch, and that ball's hit into left field in the 5-6 hole for another base hit for Kendry Blanco. He rounds first, and comes back to first safely. Another base hit. Blanco definitely is a threat to steal. He had 13 steals in the spring last year. And it's going to bring up big Chase Martinez, the first baseman. The wind has picked up a little bit here at Ray Boyd Field. LaGuardia fires, and that ball's taken inside for a strike. And this umpire's strike zone is bigger than LaGuardia. He's calling him inside, outside. All you ask for in an umpire is some consistency. LaGuardia comes set at the waist. He fires to Chase, and that ball's lifted high and deep to left field, but that's hooking foul. He barreled up on it, but he was way ahead of the pitcher there. 2 strikes to Martinez with Blanco on first. Anthony LaGuardia for the Buccaneers steps off for a minute. Didn't like that sign. Now he digs back. He digs back in. Takes a look at Giovera, but fires to first base. Oliva puts the tag on Blanco, but he's in there safely. Here's the two-strike offering to the first baseman, Martinez. And that ball's lifted high and deep to left center field. Orama goes back all the way to the fence. It one-hops the fence, and here comes Blanco. They're sending him home. The ball gets cut off. Chase goes to second with a stand-up double, and Kendry Blanco scores another run for your Killian Cougars. Wow, that was hit well. That one-hop the left field fence. A two-strike fastball out over the plate. Chase Martinez turns on it and gets an RBI double. And the Cougars have scored at least one run in every inning here at South Dade. Maybe we should play all our games here. That's going to bring up the left-handed batter, the center fielder, Zorro. Chase on second. Being held on there by Sebastian Del Valle. That off-speed pitch is taken by Zorro for ball one. Martinez not a big threat to steal. Coach Leon will be happy to go station to station with him. Although a base hit placed somewhere between the gap could score Martinez. The count goes 2-0 to Zorro. Anthony LaGuardia. He's given up two straight hits. The base hit to Blanco, the double by Martinez, and now Zorro takes strike one. 2 balls and a strike to the center fielder for the Cougars. LaGuardia looks at Martinez. Now he comes to the plate, and that ball's low but swung on by Zorro. That looked like a ball from here, but he dug it out of the dirt and fouled it into the Cougar dugout for strike two. Now the count's even. Good time for a base hit, says head coach Chris Leon. Anytime is a good time for a base hit, but especially when you have a runner in scoring position and about to score, and there's an off-speed pitch and a good eye there by Zorro. The fans like that here at Ray Boy Field. The Cougars travel well, and a bunch of Cougar fans here today. LaGuardia comes set. Fires that one. It almost hits Zorro. That's an easy take and a base on balls, a walk to Zorro, and it's going to bring up Ethan Jones, but not before a mound visit by the Bucs pitching coach. We got a chance to talk about one of our sponsors here in Sports Grill. If you've ever been out there, it's on 97th Avenue, just off of Kendall Drive. They have the very best wings. They're grilled wings. They're known for good friends, good times, and good food. That's Sports Grill right on 97th Avenue. Ethan Jones, the left fielder for the Cougars, steps in. Had a base hit his last time up. He scored a run. And with a runner on first and second here, he's looking to extend this lead, his 4-2 lead. That ball's taken for a ball outside for Ethan Jones, the left fielder. They call him EJ. LaGuardia's been laboring on the mound. Takes a look at Martinez on second. He comes in, and that ball swung right over the top by Ethan Jones. Zorro got walked. He's on first. Martinez hit a double. He's on second, and that scored Henry Blanco. And that's been all for the bottom of the third for the Cougars. 2-1 to the left fielder, EJ. LaGuardia comes set. He kicks his knee and fires that one high. He's kind of opening up a little bit, leaving his right shoulder exposed, and that ball sailed high. So it's 3-1 to Ethan Jones. Antonio Vasquez is on deck. Nobody out here in the third. That ball's taken. So back-to-back walks. Is going to load the bases for the Cougars. Timeout is called, and here comes the pitching coach for the Bucs. Welcome back to Ray Boy Field for some fall baseball. It's Uncle Muggs here for the Florida Sports Programming Network, and we had a pitching change for the South Dade Buccaneers. They're bringing to the bump Romeo Del Rio to face these Cougars with the bases loaded and nobody outs in the top of the third inning. Chase Martinez is on second. He had an RBI double. And then there was 2 base on balls by Zorro and by Ethan Jones. And that first pitch to Vasquez is swung on for a strike. So Tony's pitched very well today. He's kept his team in it. It's a 4-2 ball game. Now with the new pitcher, he's going to try to break this one open, and that one's blooped over second. The shortstop goes back. It falls in front of the center fielder, Capucetti, who picks it up and fires home, but not before Chase Martinez scores the 5th run on an RBI base hit by the pitcher, helping his own cause, Antonio Vasquez. So that ball was blooped over the shortstop. Capucetti, the center fielder, came in on it. So Zorro could not advance, and therefore Ethan Jones is on first base. So nobody out. The sidearm strike from Del Rio to Ryan Yambes. So with no one out, 3 hits this inning, 2 bases on balls. Wow, Yambes was all over that fastball, and he fouled it straight back. The sophomore got a base hit his last time up. And now he's down 0-2 with no one out here in the top of the third inning in a 5-2 ball game. The new pitcher is Romeo Del Rio. He comes from the sidearm, and that one's hit foul. Chris Leon almost makes a play over at third base. The count remains 0-2 to Yambes. Del Rio does let the ball go a little bit past 3/4. It's kind of a sidearm. The ball dips on him a little bit. But Ryan was all over that one. He pulled it foul. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Romero, and that one swung on and lifted into right field. Right center field. The right fielder comes over, Perez, and that one's dropped. That's going to be a base hit, and here comes Zorro with the hustle. Zorro from second. They're going to throw to third. EJ's going to get to third. Zorro's going to score, and that's going to be another base hit from the sophomore and 2 RBIs. Or one more RBI. Zorro came all the way from second on that one. He judged that one well because that one was hit into a triangle between the right fielder, the second baseman, and the center fielder, Capucetti. They all converged. Nobody came up with it, and that ball found it. That's going to bring up Jean-Michael Cueto from the left side. He takes ball 1. So Yambas with an RBI. He's on first base. The pitcher, Vasquez, is on second. That ball swung on. So there's one out because Ethan Jones was called out after he overslid the base. I guess he forced out at third base. So it's going to have Anthony Vasquez is at second. Yambas is at first. There's one out. Cueto's up. 2 runs scored this inning. 3 runs scored this inning, so makes it 6-2. That ball swung on a good, healthy cut by Cueto. Couple of hard base hits from the Cougars against the new pitcher, Del Rio. Del Rio's been in the stretch the whole time. He shakes yes to the catcher, Gio Vera, takes a peek at Tony on second. He tried to pick him off, and there's a strike by Cueto. Taken for strike 3. 2 outs, and that's going to bring up the leadoff batter, the shortstop for the Cougars. It's number 12, Aiden. Eddie Naranjo is on deck. Del Rio opens up with a fastball strike to Aiden. Took that one. Let's see if Coach Leon puts the runners in motion. Second baseman Hernandez is creeping in. That ball's low. Everybody was looking for the umpire to call that a strike, but he didn't. Vasquez on second. 3 runs on the board already this inning. Del Rio throws high. It's 2-1 to Aiden. Eddie Naranjo, who's walked and got a base hit, is on deck. Naranjo Aiden takes a strike to even the count at 2-2. Boy, those pitches are a little outside. It's all right. We have lights here at South Dade. We could play as long as we want. The pitcher is Romero Del Rio for the Bucs. He's a right-hander. Cougars on first and second. 6-2 ball game. Top of the 3rd inning. And here comes Del Rio's pitch. And it swung on and fouled against the fence. Aiden stays alive. Good, healthy cut. Del Rio really taking his time on the mound. I think he knows they have lights. Finally comes to the plate and swung on and missed by Aiden for strike 3 and the 3rd out of the inning, but not after 4 hits, 2 bases on balls, and 3 runs for your Killian Cougars. We'll be right back with more Florida Sports Programming Network and the Killian Cougar Fall Baseball right after this. Welcome back to the Florida Sports Programming Network. We're coming to you from Rayboy Field in beautiful South Dade County, Florida, at South Dade High School, home of the Buccaneers, for some fall baseball. We have a new pitcher on the mound for your Cougars, and he is the junior Brandon Pfeiffer. We have a few changes in the defense. Armando Vasquez is playing left field for EJ. Eddie Naranjo has moved from second to third. And Antonio Vasquez was pitching and now is playing second base. Chase is still at first. And Phoenix is in right field. The first pitch from Pfeiffer is taken for a strike. And this is Joseph Medina. Bottom of the third. Bottom of the third. Pfeiffer's pitch is hitting to the 5-6 hole for a base hit for Medina. He left that one a little bit high. Medina was able to turn on it. Diving try over there by Naranjo. Zorro stays in center field. Phoenix Medina's in right field. The sun is starting to set here. And that's a ball to Sebastian Del Valle, and he's the shortstop for the Bucs. The right side of the infield and the right fielder have to shade their eyes. The sun is in their eyes. They're blocking it with their glove or with their hands. They have the shades on. Pfeiffer's from the stretch. The junior fires and swung on and missed. The little bit of breeze that we have is now coming in from about left center, maybe dead on center field. It's really going to have to be a poke if someone wants to hit it out of here. Pfeiffer throws to first. The runner's back safe. So last year as a sophomore, Pfeiffer saw a few innings. He'll definitely have a few more innings this spring, as the Cougar is going to need some arms. And there goes the runner. He fires to first. Martinez goes to second, and he throws off the base a little bit. And that pickoff went wrong. Pfeiffer turned and had him picked off. The throw to Martinez was high. He made a great play just to get it. And then his throw to second was a little bit of wide and allowed Medina to slide into second base safe. So nobody out. Sebastian Del Valle is the batter. Brandon Pfeiffer's the pitcher. Jean-Michael Cueto's behind the plate. Tony comes over from second base, and he fires a nice fastball with good movement on it. Pfeiffer hides the ball well, and then he explodes towards the plate. A lot of movement on that fastball. He shakes off Cueto a couple times. And now he steps off, and they're going to go through the signs once again. Joseph Medina started this inning off with a base hit, is on second base. And Cueto and Pfeiffer are having a little bit of a problem communicating here. Cueto finally comes out and talks to him. I guess it's gotten a little bit more complicated. It used to be one's a fastball, two's a curve, three's a changeup, four's any other pitch. And mix in a couple other signs. It can't be that complicated. It's not like you can take your glove off and put up 10 fingers. But nevertheless, here's the 1-ball, 2-strike count to the shortstop, Sebastian Del Valle. Tony's creeping in from second, trying to keep the runner honest. At second, Medina creeps back. Pfeiffer takes a peek, and he fires low and away to even the count at 2-2 to Del Valle. A strikeout here would be ideal for the Cougars. It'll bring up the DH, Quinones. Tony creeps over once again to keep the runner close to the base. A little cat and mouse, and that ball's hit in the 5-6 hole again. Not a hard hit ball, but it's slowly going into the outfield. It gets fired in by Armando. The runner's going to go to second on the throw, and the Bucs are going to have runners on second and third after a Sebastian Del Valle base hit and extra base. Both grounders were hit almost in the identical spot. Not hit very hard. Now Pfeiffer's coming from the full windup, and he kicks to Quinones, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Quinones fly to right field in the first inning. And he's the fifth batter for the Buccaneers. With runners on second and third, Pfeiffer kicks, throws one outside for ball one. The second baseman, Luis Hernandez, is on deck for the Bucs. First base is open. But with no one out, runners on second and third, you don't want to walk Quinones. Pfeiffer throws one, and that one's fouled over into the farmland. Here in South Dade, they have a lot of room out here in Homestead. In fact, they had a class here for agriculture where you got to use lawnmowers and grow strawberries, and you get your grade if your plant grows right. That one was hit into the asparagus over there, I guess. Pfeiffer now wants to come from the stretch. He kicks, and that one's high to Medina. And the count goes full here in the bottom of the third inning in Buck Country. The fans want to run. The Cougars are looking for a shutout inning. Pfeiffer's looking to get on a roll here. He's trying to settle in. He steps off again, and he wants Cueto to come through the signs again. All right, Gene Michael Cueto behind the plate. He puts down the sign that Pfeiffer likes. Pfeiffer comes to his waist, knee up, kicks and deals, and that's a strike, but it got away from Cueto. Cueto all the way to the backstop. He fires home. He overthrows the pitcher. It goes to the shortstop. The runner goes back to third safely, but not before Joseph Medina scores a run for the Buccaneers of South Dade High School. So they cut the lead in half. It's 6-3. Del Valle makes it all the way to third base. Now the count is full to Quinones. That ball just came off the glove of Cueto. Still learning the position. Here comes Pfeiffer, the payoff pitch. It's hit slowly, ground ball to Anthony. Tony's over to first, and he fires to Martinez, but that's going to score another run for the Buccaneers. So it's 6-4, one out. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Luis Hernandez, the second baseman for the Bucs, steps up from the right side. Pfeiffer delivers. That off-speed pitch is taken for a ball. Pfeiffer's the junior, working from the windup. That fastball swung on and missed. 1-1 to Hernandez. Naranjo playing third, well off the back. That ball's hit into short right center field. Blanco's going to his right. He can't make the catch. It's going to go all the way almost to the wall. It was Zorro that cuts off. Oh, it just got by the cutoff, or they would have got him at second base. So Hernandez with a double. One out. 2 runs have scored. The Bucs have 3 hits this inning already. 2 runs. Tough getting outs here for Pfeiffer. The right fielder for the Bucs is Niran Perez. He steps in and squares to bunt, and that one's fouled straight back right over Cueto's head. So with one out, Niran squares to bunt. Not a bad idea. Nobody in this ballpark was expecting that. Niran hit a ground ball to the pitcher the last time up. The Cougars could use another one right now. Pfeiffer turns at the runner, but nobody's there to cover. Hernandez gets back easily. Aiden at shortstop. Tony's playing second. Chase Martinez is in on the grass at first, trying to take away the bunt. And Eddie Naranjo's even with the bag at third. Tony and Aiden are playing some cat and mouse with the runner at second. Pfeiffer takes a peek and he fires, and squaring again to bunt is Niran Perez, and he misses that one. Not an easy ball to bunt, low and away with some velocity. But Coach Baldo definitely has a play on here. He wants to add on to those 2 runs that he already scored in the bottom of the third. Pfeiffer takes his time. He gets his sign from Cueto. He kicks and he fires, and that's an off-speed pitch that swung on for strike 3. And that was a great pitch by Pfeiffer. A lot of bite to that slider. Two outs, one on. 2 runs scored here in the third inning for the Bucs. And it's going to bring on Anthony LaGuardia. LaGuardia takes a fastball from Pfeiffer inside. That was called by the home plate umpire. Hernandez is on second for the Bucs. Pfeiffer comes set. Nobody's guarding the runner. Now Aiden creeps over. Tony comes in a little bit, and that fastball plunks him right in the buttocks. So LaGuardia gets a free pass here with 2 outs in the third. And that's going to bring up the first baseman, John Oliva, for the Buccaneers of South Dade High School. 2 softly hit balls. A grounder to second, a double, a strikeout, and now base on balls, and it's going to bring up John Oliva in the bottom of the third inning with 2 strikes to face Cougar pitcher Brandon Pfeiffer. Oliva from the right side. Here's Pfeiffer's pitch, and that one's inside, but called a strike by home plate umpire. Oliva steps in, 0-1. Tony's creeping over on second base. Pfeiffer delivers, and another great slider. It stayed in the hitting zone, in the strike zone, long enough to look like a strike, and Oliva swung right over that one. Good bite to that curveball, that slider from Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer gets his sign from Cueto behind the plate, takes a peek at the runners, and another slider, and that one's hit off the end of the bat over to Martinez, who picks it up. Chase flips it over to the pitcher, and Brandon Pfeiffer gets himself out of the inning with a 3-1, but not after 3 hits and 2 runs. We're going to step aside for a minute, and we're going to bring you some more fall baseball right here on the Florida Sports Programming Network. Welcome back to Killian Cougar Fall Baseball on the Florida Sports Programming Network. It's Uncle Muggs coming to you from Ray Boy Field, home of the South Dade Senior High School Buccaneers. We've got a good one here today. The Killian Cougars have 6 runs. The Buccaneers have 4, and we're going into the top of the fourth inning. Eddie Naranjo will be the leadoff batter, and he will be facing a new pitcher for the Bucs. It's Heron Perez. He fires that one in there for a strike. Perez is left-handed. Naranjo is batting from the right side. On deck is Phoenix Medina, followed by Kendry Blanco, and then it'll be Chase Martinez, who had an RBI double. That one's fouled back, and Naranjo is down 0-2. And there goes Coach Chris Leon in his second season here as the head coach of the Killian Cougars. And he's got a great coaching staff. He has Abel Alonso, Eric Martinez. And here's the pitch, and that one got away from him a little bit. So Heron Perez is the new pitcher for the Bucs. He's the left-hander. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Naranjo with Phoenix Medina on base. And that ball slowly hit right at the second baseman. He picks it up, and he fires over to Johnny Oliva at first base for the first out of the top of the fourth inning. Now up for the Cougars, it's the first baseman, Chase Martinez, wearing number 25, batting from the right side. I'm sorry, you might have a pinch hitter here. That ball's hit into right center field for an out. And that was Phoenix Medina. Eddie grounded out. Phoenix flied out. Now there's 2 outs. And now we're going to have Acosta's going to bat for Kendry, and then Chase is in the hole. Kendry was the extra hitter. So Jonathan Acosta's going to come in, and he already took strike 1. Acosta from the left side. The new pitcher, Heron Perez, from the left side, and that ball swung on and hit foul all the way back to the cornfields. Acosta's been hitting pretty good this spring. He's had a couple hits. He's played some good shortstop. Here's the pitch from Perez, and it's taken low and away. Acosta's the senior. Perez comes set, picks up his knee, and throws that one in the dirt. And evens the count at 2-2 for the senior Jonathan Acosta with his first at-bat. He's batting for Kendry Blanco here in the fourth inning. 2 outs in the top of the fourth. 6-4 Cougar lead. Perez kicks and deals, and that ball's lifted, and it's looping into left field. It's looping away from the left fielder, Orma, and it drops in. It's going to be at least 2 bases for Jonathan Acosta. Good 2-strike hitting there by Jonathan Acosta. He stayed in there long enough to get a barrel on the ball, and that ball started looping off the left-hander's bat, hit it opposite field. Fabian Orma almost had a beat on it, but the wind and the momentum of the ball caused it to bounce away from him, and Jonathan Acosta is on second with a double. And here's a guy who had a double and an RBI his last time up. It's Chase Martinez, the first baseman. And he's got a chance here to add to this Cougar lead. The lights come on here at Ray Boyd Field. Perez looks at the runner, and he takes off for third. Gio bobbles it, and he's going to be safe at third. Gio Vera, the catcher, didn't come up with it clean. Jonathan Acosta had a great jump. So Martinez takes that for a ball, right? Acosta's on third. There's 2 outs. That ball swung on, got a piece of it at home plate. Chase swung at a ball a little bit out of the strike zone. Maybe he's gotten a little bit anxious, trying to bring in that runner from third. Almost swung out of his shoes on that one. Perez gets his sign from Gio Vera, the catcher for the Bucs. He lifts his knee and fires that one way inside to Chase Martinez. Two balls and a strike to Martinez. Top of the 4th inning. A base hit will score a run. Here comes the pitch. And that one's called strike 2. That one almost hit Martinez. Timeout is called by home plate umpire. Martinez gets back in there from the right side to face Perez, the lefty. On a 2-2 count here in the top of the 4th. And that off-speed pitch is roped, and it's a fair ball down the third base line. That's going to score Acosta. Martinez is thinking about second, but he's going to settle for a base hit and his second RBI. A 7-4 game now. If you ever needed an insurance run, that was it right there. Good piece of 2-strike hitting by Chase Martinez. Stayed alive. Hit one down the line at third base. Got by the third baseman, Medina. And that's going to bring up the center fielder, Antonio Lasiza. They call him Zorro. We got a pinch runner that came in for Chase. Perez looks at him, and he comes to the plate, and a good swing by Zorro. Good, healthy swing. Had a good pitch. That was a fastball, a good pitch to turn on. Pretty dimensional here at Buck Field. It gets pretty long, straightaway center, 400 feet. 370 in the gaps. And that one's fouled off the left side. Quickly, 2 strikes to Zorro. It's a nice-looking field here. The Bucs take a lot of pride in keeping this place looking good. Always the best food at their concession. The field is excellent. 315 down the lines. 400 to center field. A lot of room here at Buck Field. Perez comes in, and Zorro stays alive. Swung at that fastball and fouled it back. 0-2 with Zorro. Jonathan Acosta with a double. Chase Martinez with another hit and another RBI. And here's Perez, the left-hander, takes a peek at the runner. That was swung on and missed, and that's strike 3. But not before another run to add to the lead. So it's 7 runs for your Cougars, 4 runs for the Bucs, and we'll be right back here to Ray Boyd Field with more Killian Cougar Fall Baseball. Welcome back to Ray Boyd Field, home of the South Dade Senior High School Buccaneers, where it's fall baseball. It's your Killian Cougars that have 7 runs versus the Bucs from South Dade that have 4 runs, and this is the last inning, I'm told. This is the bottom of the 4th. The Bucs are going to have Fabian Arama, the catcher Gio Vera, and the center fielder Kevin Camposetti to come up and face the junior Brandon Pfeiffer. Arama got on by an error last time, and he starts off with a strike. Nice off-speed pitch there by Pfeiffer. There's another off-speed pitch swung on and missed by Arama. Pfeiffer quickly ahead 0-2 to Arama, who takes that one. Wow, what a good eye there. I would have swung at that one. This is the last inning. It's 7-4 in favor of the Cougars. Brandon Pfeiffer, the junior, looking to sit this guy down, and he does with us. He caught him looking with another excellent changeup. I think it was a slider or a curve. Pinch hitter coming up for the Bucs is Charlie Delancey. Charlie is pinch hitting for Giro Vera. And there's one out thanks to a strikeout by Brandon Pfeiffer. And he pumps one in there, and that one's fouled straight back off the net for strike one to Charlie Delancey. I think Brandon Pfeiffer is starting to get into a groove here. Another strike to Charlie Delancey. Quickly ahead 0-2 to the pinch hitter Delancey. Pfeiffer likes to work quick. Gets his sign from Cueto. He kicks and he deals, and another strike three called. Two of them looking. Brandon Pfeiffer with two quick strikes. And your Cougars are one out away from another fall win. Coach Chris Leon's Cougars have 3 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie in this fall season. And they're looking to go 2 games above 500 here against the Bucs of South Dade. Pfeiffer kicks, and he's beating up the strike zone. Just missed to Capucetti. Well, I think this is a pinch hitter. That's another off-speed pitch taken for a strike. So the Cougars are 2 strikes away from a victory here in the fall. There's another good pitch. Wow, that didn't miss by much. 2-1 to the pinch hitter. Pfeiffer seems to be settled in here. 2 quick strikeouts. Overthrew that one. Now the count is 3-1. There's a strike called, and that's going to fill up the count. And the Cougars are 1 strike away from victory. Here comes Pfeiffer. He kicks, he deals. That strike is swung on. Hit off the end of the bat, off the fence by the pinch hitter. Barely stays alive. Good pitch by Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer wearing number 29. Cueto's behind the plate. Martinez at first. Tony Vasquez is at second. Aiden has been the shortstop all day, and Eddie Naranjo, and that's strike 3. That's your ball game. The Cougars win. The Cougars win. Paul's up, everybody. See you on Friday for another fall game. Thanks for joining us.